Yeah, I
Um,
can do it if you want. If you
cool.
want to just edit it.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome to. Nah, fuck it. I need to start again. All right. Welcome to the third attempt of recording Catching Out tonight. I love I just like cut to that. Just like I was like, oh yeah, we can definitely do this. No, fuck it, scrap it. Go to the beginning.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's gonna be one
My
of
hand's
those
starting to get
nights.
sore from all the waving at the start of this.
All the dancing you're doing behind the camera. Like honestly, if only there was a way to record you guys. We need to start recording it, like, or you guys record it
I
on your
need to
side.
remember. I need to remember. I've been saying this for like nearly 2 years now.
I'd love to do like a behind the scenes of like how this works, but the reality is there's not really much of a behind the scenes because what you see is what you get.
click live button.
Oh, I could do that actually. Do you want to go live on YouTube? Don't think we've got a thumbnail for it, but we could do it. Surprise! We're online. But yeah, right. Let's go over all the stuff that we've said twice already now. We're going to be splitting this into multiple episodes. And first up, we're going to be talking about the men's leagues at St George's Park. So Men's Super League, Men's League One. I'm sorry, Men's League 2 North, Men's League 3 North, and Men's League 2 South, and Men's League 3 South. Love to talk about you guys at some point, but time is a luxury that we're very poor in, to be honest.
It took about 30 minutes just to say the amount of leagues that there is.
Yeah. Like, if anyone's got any time donations that they can give to us, then that'd be fantastic. But I don't think it works like that.
Yeah,
we are in
just
desperate need.
take over me and Nick's jobs for a day or two, and then we'll get the episodes out. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
yeah, that would be fantastic. Like more episodes, more absolutely terrible humor.
Whoa!
More content for Nick to edit out. You know,
Oh
the list is endless.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Right. Let's just go straight into it, shall we?
Let's do
what's-
it.
Yeah, cool. I know what I'm talking about. Men's Super League. Yeah, we all love that.
Hey, Nick's favorite league.
Oh, my favouriteest league, the bestest league.
Oh my god.
Look at all those lovely results. To be fair, actually,
There
like,
was a lot of good games
there
this
was
week.
it was a cracking week. And I will
It was
say,
probably the worst week for British Dodgeball live stream to fuck up.
yeah, it really was.
Like, let's get this out in the open off the bat. Do you know how annoying it is to see the list of results and go, "Yep, no, none of these are really available to watch."
No, can't watch back what happened. No idea what happened.
Oh,
and now you're
so
just gonna have to
annoying.
rely on my memory for what happened. And I've drunk a lot of alcohol since then, so who knows?
Same.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, in the year that Men's Super League actually has like a really interesting table because there's a shitload of draws. Men's League One might have won up them again because of how close it is, but we'll get to that when we get there. But yeah, first up, first match of the day. Or was it first match of the day? Yeah, this is a morning slot. That Storm Bees game. What a game!
Yeah,
Storm had to dig
I'm-
deep to
I-
win that one.
yeah. I'm a bit gutted by the result. This is one of the rare bees games that I don't actually think is up on the bees channel, or at least
They're
I
that
haven't
ashamed
watched
of
it
it.
yet.
They're that ashamed of it. I mean, I would be, to be fair. So
You would be. He's just here to trigger me tonight. No, from talking to the lads about it, it was a tough one to take, and fair play to them for continuing on the day as they did, because that's a tough thing to bounce back from.
yeah, I mean, like for context of what happened, I'm pretty sure Storm went 13-9 up ahead of the 1 minute set, or the short set. So they had won it, they had secured it, but it was pretty close up until that point where they got the 2 set leads and the time wasn't enough for bees. I was saying this like when I was there, and I've said it on other podcasts, said it to other people, like the lineup that Storm had, credible players, like fantastic players. Don't get me wrong. Like I think a lot of people would love to have that lineup for the team, but then I realised they're all really fucking tall.
Yeah,
And
you
like,
don't realize that's the reason why Cam gets picked for the first team.
it's surprising how quickly 8 meters wide becomes very narrow when you've got a bunch of tall people on court. You can't dive sideways because you're going to wipe out about a third of the team. Like, there's just no space. And like, it just meant that Storm got hit out so quickly in the first few sets because there's just no real space to jump. They like or dodge. They would just jump or kneel.
Yeah.
And that was the best way they could get out of the way. And, 2-ball attacks were getting them out because there was no space to dodge. And it basically meant they were playing, 6-4 down off at, like, within the first 30 seconds fairly regularly, which, to be fair, with the team that they've got, 6-4 down is definitely, like, you can recover from. But if you're doing that every set, it drags on and, it means that you're going to get these really close scores, which they got. They only just beat the Spartans seconds as well, and then they drew to Rangers. Like, it's not that sustainable. If they can get some smaller or petite players on court, they might have the ability to soak up more balls and keep the 6 players on and win some more sets more easily. But yeah, very, very mixed day for Storm, to be fair.
Yeah, you would have thought that they'd have taken the confidence of after beating Bays and kind of racked up a bigger score against Spartans too, who are, to be fair to Spartans too, I will say that they've caused a lot of teams problems. Like they've been fairly beatable, but they're making everybody work hard. And if that's what you're doing, you're going to pick up like the odd result along the way. So no, fair play to them. But I would have expected Storm to have racked up a bit of a bigger result against Spartans too, for sure.
I mean, is it fair to say that, for me, I think Spartans 2 is the most chaotic team in Super League? And
I don't know if chaotic's the word.
Because they just draw people into like 1-for-1s and trades and
yeah,
ending up having to do lots of punishes, and it's the only team that really do that in Super League, like to that extent.
They're doing it, but they're doing it with intent, whereas
Yes.
other teams, whenever they start doing that, they're just trying to pluck opportunities out of thin air, whereas you kind of feel like with Spartans too that it's a lot more intentional, and they've kind of gone, right, who's the almost like the priority target, who's going to be willing to almost sacrifice themselves to take this person out. A lot of the times, like there's a bit of a style of play there, and I think they need to do that. I think if they try to match the more stability, the more stable style of gameplay every so often, like the first team does, like how they start off their games, I actually think it would probably work in their favor against certain teams.
100%. It wasn't a criticism. It was just like an
no.
observation.
But you're completely right. Like they are going for those big moments intentionally, and I get why you use the word chaotic, because not a lot of teams would like go for big trades up court as often as they would.
Yeah,
but
I guess it's not. It's not chaos. It's more multi-play or multi-phase based play. Whereas if we call one phase being like one team with a group of balls going up to throw, and another team, your second phase is then the counter, your third phase is the counter on the counter. Like anything that's multi-phase, like you've got multiple counters going on. I think that's what Spartans 2 definitely sort of like pick up on and definitely try and draw out of, which works really well against other teams that are, having a lot of players interchange, which is probably why they did all right in League One, because there's so many seconds teams where you got new players coming in. If you've not quite got that cohesion or discipline, you can draw that ball out so much quicker, and profit off it. Which is probably why they didn't do so well against teams like Beagles, like like MK and
They
Nighthawks
struggled
and
against
us.
us as well.
Yeah.
Last season.
So
I think we got a win and a draw against them.
I mean, they did scrape in, which then brings on to the second team, which I like. I want to watch back all their games to try and understand this. Like, if I had time, there's so many games I'd love to go watch back on because so many leagues and
Yeah,
teams that are so
100%.
fascinating. Like
Yeah.
Nighthawks, like considering how much they absolutely dominated League One the year before, like I think they lost one game, if I'm not mistaken. Like they were pretty much untouched all the
It
way
might not
through.
have even.
It might have been.
Yeah.
I think they drew.
Yeah. No, they were comfortable.
Well, I think maybe they drew to MK. Maybe that's what happened. But like, they've not been picking up points this league. Like,
I'll be honest. I wasn't fully expecting them to, be like challenging top half of the table or anything.
oh no,
Because,
but I thought they'd be safe.
yeah, I would have taken them probably eighth position, maybe seventh,
Yeah.
eighth.
Like, I mean, like I think
Um,
going back to predictions, I think I said Silverbacks and Silverbacks
Spartans
and
too.
Spartans 2 would be the bottom two. Um,
You
which
said Spartans 2 would never pick up a point.
no, I think I said they'd never win. Either way, I'm wrong.
Maybe, yeah.
They have got to win. But yeah, yeah, it does surprise me. I don't really know what's letting Nighthawks down. I haven't really been able to see the matches to really see it. I mean, as you said, Sheriffs making their games close as they always do.
I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head when talking about Spartans too, and that I don't think Nighthawks have a response to a more disciplined teams and more like teams that can turn on that aggression at the right times rather than kind of doing it sporadically. Like for example, like so if we had killers against workers match at training, like whenever the workers try to go for those like big open plays, back and forth trades, killers would bury us and survive like 9 times out of 10. And you would expect that because that is their bread and butter, is being able to pick off players in those aggressive situations and surviving. Even against the better teams, that's where you would expect them to kind of thrive. Whereas I feel like with Nighthawks against the better teams, whenever they go for those big open plays, which is what got them through League One fairly easily because nobody was really able to handle it. You're not coming up against teams that handle that week in, week out. And they're struggling to come up with a stronger plan B to fight back against them. Because outside of Skinner and is it Ryan? Like they haven't got the biggest arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't got the biggest arms. Like they're very much we're meant to be the big receivers and take those catches and look for those opportunities to take the trades kind of players. And they haven't been thriving in those scenarios as they would have previously.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. It just surprised me. Like even against teams like Silverbacks, and how Sheriffs are playing this year, I thought they would have picked up a few more points, but no.
Silverbacks are an interesting team, very interesting team this season. Like
a very changed team from last year.
Yeah, and I look at what they've got this year, and I feel like if they played a bit smarter and a bit more unified, they probably would climb up the table a bit more. Like I wouldn't have expected them to get beat 22 by Derby, for an example. Like there's enough ability there that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I don't know how much they are able to train as a team though between all of them. Like,
oh no, that's 100%. Well, from what my understanding is that is kind of what's going on, and that it kind of shows that you need to be like how important training and understanding your teammates and understanding how you react in certain scenarios. Like that's why I like doing that's why we do drills, is to create those scenarios that you know how your teammates are going to be reacting and how you're going to be reacting in all these different scenarios. And yeah, it shines through in matches like that where you've got a Derby who train together and basically eat, breathe, sleep all together the exact same air, against a more chaotic team that are a good experienced players ability wise, but don't click as well on court as they would like to.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think looking at the other results, Rangers had a rough day. Sheriff's probably not a day that a day that they'd like to forget probably because drawing to Spartans too, very good team, but I think Sheriff's would have thought that they could have won that one, and beating by a set to
They,
Nighthawks as well.
you're always more likely to see upsets at the end of the day, though.
Yeah,
Like it's a lot. Like playing 3 matches can take it out of a team, especially whenever you've had um a close game against Nighthawks that they scraped through, and then took a bit of a battering in a very
against
energetic
Spartans.
Spartans team.
Yep.
Which playing against certain teams, kind of like whenever it's really back and forth and very high speed games, it can really take it out of you. I think that I played into the Rangers game against Bees towards the end of the day. You could just tell there wasn't as much in the tank for Rangers, and Bees definitely took advantage of that. Especially that, like, that's where kind of our more controlled game plays into our favor. Is that we're usually not needing to play, high pace back and forth as often. Which means, going into the end of the day, in theory, would play into our hands a bit more.
Yeah, I mean it's surprising for Rangers because they beat Derby, which they would definitely take as a big win and look to solidify them in the top half of the table. But then a draw against Storm and then a pretty heavy loss to you guys. Whereas you guys just lost to Storm, okay, gutting, just lost to Meteors. That's a great result. Like that, just losing by a set to Meteor is really great for set difference.
Yeah.
And then then B's winning 17-7 over Rangers. I like it's only one win, but that's a solid day for Bees.
We would have, like, from our point of view, we would have been hoping for 2 wins. The Meteors game went a lot better than I thought it would, and watching it back, it was nice to see the lads look a lot more as a team on court as they have done in previous meets. There's been some of the meets before that in the big matches, we had a really rough time against Derby and Spartans in the second half in earlier meets. And I was kind of worried that going against another team that has been playing some insane dodgeball this season, I was a bit worried, being honest, going into that game, how it was gonna pan out. But it's the most disciplined I've seen them play all season, and the opportunities to win against Meteors was definitely there. And I think with a couple more weeks, that team would be a lot more solid, and be able to pick up victories against bigger teams. So the final 2 meets of the season are going to be very, very interesting to see how the Killers hold up, because they are looking a lot stronger now than they were from meet 1.
Yeah, because I know there was a big change between meet 1 and meet 2 for Bees, I believe in Killers, and that's what I guess worried me is like you've got the second round for Killers was just like it was one of those ones where they probably performed better than expected, but because of like all the changes in the team, etc., like it was you didn't really know what to expect, and you would have taken anything kind of positive forming as a team. They weren't battered.
Oh,
or anything,
yeah.
But they weren't in like a great shape. Whereas like the results here are genuinely very promising and very, very good. Like that 17-7 win over Rangers as well. Like can't be sniffed at. Very
No.
very good.
And with the amount of injuries we've had as a club this season, like this was very much at the start of the season was kind of like, right, we just need to be surviving as we go into the latter parts of the season. Then we can regroup, kind of blend in new players, and getting players back like Brennan, Ross McGuigan's back. I'm returning from injury. Little things like that where you can have better training sessions, better help across the board with the player, like the less experienced players. People like Benji and Mackie have been improving since they've come into the first team. it's everything's slowly coming together, and you're starting to see it with the results a bit more. It is gotten like to just walk away with one win whenever you've been going toe to toe with two teams that can play very, very good dodgeball. But it's good to see the positives that we can take away and keep pushing forward and keep improving.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I know a lot of our listeners will be like, when are you going to talk about that game? When are you going to talk about that game? When are you going to talk about the game? Like, we got to talk about it. Meteors, Spartans. I'm not going to lie, as soon as I saw the team sheet for Spartans, I regretted my sort of match to captain call. Like, I'm not going to lie, there were a few injuries, a few people not there, not able to make it, whether it was illness or whatever. Spartans were, I think, would admit, not at full strength. And I think a full strength Spartans team against a full strength Meteors team, hell of a match to see.
Yeah.
I don't know how this game went. I kind of I walked away from it and watched other games because I kind of felt like the result was going to be seen out that way. If I remember correctly, it was again a case of Meteors pulling away in the final half, but I can't remember.
I have no idea. I've not been able to. I don't know if there is any footage of it anywhere, to be honest.
In which case, that's all we're going to say on it, is that it felt like a almost, not to disrespect Spartans because they are a fantastic club and organisation, but almost a foregone conclusion at that point because Meteors have been playing really good dodgeball. We've seen that Spartans have faltered before. They drew to Derby in the opening match of the season for them, which I think took a lot of people by surprise, and I don't think they'll want to let that happen again. But Spartans haven't been clicking as well this year. I know with Reese leaving as well, there's definitely some glue of that team that may be missing. That's like sort of holding them all together in the gel, especially when it comes.
He was the cover guy. Like he just allowed everybody else to play the insane game. Oh, he was. I always said he was so underrated for what he brought to a team. Like.
Yeah. No, from some of the feedback I've heard from like other people as well, it's just like it's not that bad players are in the team or anything like that. It's just like when someone has that like, what do they call it in American football? The intangibles, right? Like the things that you can't really like put a metric against. Like it is just the way that he plays and what he brings to the team is just. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, even with injuries and stuff, I still think that's a strong Spartans team, and you can see that from the results in the other games.
Yeah. 100%.
That like, and every club has injuries and people leaving. Like for example, Rangers have Brennan who's coming back to Bees. Bees have been missing out on like Aiden and Ross and Brennan until recently. Like every club has to deal with stuff like that, and fair play to Spartans, like coming away with 2 wins and a loss, like you can't turn your nose up at that if you're missing people in a meet. Like to still come away with some victories is you have to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, I mean, like going onto the table now, like this is far from a one league. Like Spartans are still very much there and can definitely win it. Just because they've lost to Meteors does not mean it's over for them. Meteors as well getting a draw. I can't remember who Meteors drew against. Was it Rangers? I can't remember.
I honestly can't think. Give me 1 sec. You can go through the rest of the table. Storm.
Yeah, I feel like a Storm meant to be 4th, not 5th. I feel like I've got some of this wrong again.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. How did I mess that up? Everything else I believe is right.
Norwich are 9th, Coventry are 10th.
Yes, but like in terms of the points and stuff, I think I got all that right.
In the order? Yeah.
So
you just forgot to choose the teams around.
Just standard. To be fair. Definitely wasn't trying to like ram this after work today to get it done before the recording. But yeah, like definitely not game over for Spartans by any means. And this is still very much I'd argue a two horse race, although
Oh yeah.
the numbers say that Rangers and Derby aren't a million miles away. I don't see Spartans and Meteors dropping more than a one more draw and a loss between the two of them.
They would need to have a hell of a game against Meteors and Spartans, and I just don't see. I don't see them beating either of them. To be honest, I still think like just as a unit and ability wise, Meteors and Spartans are above them at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, for our audio listeners, I'm just going to run through it. We've got in first place Meteors on 17 points, with only dropping a point to a draw. Spartans second, 15 points, draw and a loss. Phantoms and Rangers in third and fourth on 12 points. Set difference giving Derby. No, sorry, I'm talking wrong there. It's Derby and Storm that are drawn on 12 points. And then Rangers on 11 points behind them. So Derby and Storm only separated by set difference at the moment. Then Rangers in fifth on 11 points, Bees in sixth and 9 points, and then the bottom of the half of the table, the fight for relegation with Sheriffs on 6, Spartans 2 on 3, Nighthawks on 3, and Silverbacks on 2. Don't know whether it's fair to say Sheriffs are in the relegation battle. I mean, they've got double the amount of points as eighth at the moment, and we're now halfway
They have
through
the
the season.
potential to be.
Yeah, really don't know how it will go. Like, based on the performances we've seen from Bees, Storm, Rangers, and Derby, I'm fairly confident that you're not going to see any of them drop out of that 6. I think Sheriffs,
Yeah, I agree.
Sheriffs will find a home in that 7th spot, and then it'll be a fight between Spartans 2, Silverbacks, and Nighthawks for that final safety spot.
Yeah, I'd back that, to be honest.
But touch wood, we're halfway through the season, and my prediction of Storm coming third is still possible. Don't fucking bottle it. I feel like what is it? Is it Shell? Like, is
You
it?
just told the team that is very famous for bottling positions that they won't bottle it.
Like Tommy Shelby when
Brave
he goes
man.
round is like, no fighting, no fighting. Like, don't bottle it. Don't fucking bottle it.
You sound more like fucking Paddy McGuinness. No like it. No,
No
like
like
it. Fucking hell.
Yeah, this is why I don't do impressions, to be honest. Stick to your lane, Nick. Oh, fantastic stuff.
Hell.
But yeah, I'll get that graphic fixed in the post edit. But yeah, for our audio listeners, that's how it stands. Let's go on to the fixtures for this weekend. Some interesting games. Afternoon slot, evening slot, for the Men's Super League on a Saturday.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, any matches that jump out to you other than our match to catch? I think there are potentially some others.
Derby Storm could be a very good game.
Yeah, I think any game with that pack of 4, Derby, Storm, Rangers, and Bees, could be a cracking game. Like,
I also, as a bit of a rogue shout, wouldn't be overly shocked if Spartans 2 frustrate the fuck out of Rangers.
oh yeah, 100%. That'd be great.
Like, if that was a shock result, I wouldn't be particularly shocked myself. I don't see them getting results in any of the other games.
I can also see Rangers absolutely battering
them. Yeah. It is very. It'll definitely be either Rangers batter them or Spartans 2 scrape a result out of the game. But I would, yeah. It depends on the team sheet, obviously. But I just, yeah, they have that style of play that I think could frustrate the hell out of Rangers. So yeah, that's another match I'll definitely be keeping an eye on.
I think Derby Storm as well.
Yeah, Derby Storm definitely is a game that has the potential to be that would have been my other game to match to catch. I should say.
I think that match is going to be like 100% down to who keeps their cool. Like, they've got different play styles that
just allow Fowler to get in the heads of each of the Derby guys. That's
I want Fowler to be making fakes like he does in Foam, like that.
You're watching foam. What the
That was
fuck?
hey, when good content comes out of Quack, like I'm not gonna say no to that. That's
Oh my
top tier.
god.
I love that.
I fucking ball dreams for them at the last mate. The amount of times they actually quack at each other drove me insane. Started off as like, "Ha, this is cute," and like as time goes on, they're just wearing me out. I'm just mentally just going like, "I don't want to be here anymore."
I mean,
I don't think I can tell.
I fully rate. They did a full ranking of like a tier list of bird related clubs in dodgeball, and I like, you know what? I think they did a good job of it. I don't have that many disagreements. Like I would have liked to have seen Leeds a little higher, but I don't think they were.
Nobody wants to say Leeds higher.
Wow.
I will remind you of the fact that our other co-host drew poop on your shoulder, and you wear that at every meet.
With fucking pride. We don't have a chip on our shoulder. We have shit on our shoulder.
Oh fucking
But
hell!
yeah.
Also, I don't think Derby and Norwich is going to be at 1913.
No, I don't think it is either. I also don't think Spartans versus Derby is going to be at 115 either. So I think I've got a few edits to make. I mean, it's not as bad as the mistake I made on the Instagram, which is like the overall match to a catch graphic with all the matches on, and I put Spartans 3 against Mustangs as women's Super League.
And you got the wrong court. And you got the wrong court as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just everything's wrong.
We're on fire.
Woo!
We're tired.
Fireball.
I'm surprised they even spotted that, to be honest.
No one spotted it. No one commented on it. I spotted it. I was just like, ah, fuck.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
But anyway, brought to you by the inability of BD to provide graphics. So we'll do it for you with mistakes and everything until I get a QA. Whoop, 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 whoop. Cool. Yeah. That's that Storm Derby game. I think it'll be interesting to see what the lineups will be first of all, and then how Storm deal with Derby. I think it also depends how Derby do against Spartans. We'll see how their headspace is going into that game. Like last time, they got a draw against Spartans, and that's going to give them in a really good place for playing Storm. Like if you're starting the season, you're drawing Spartans. Like why wouldn't you beat Storm? Whereas I think if Spartans, do the job on them, then I think Derby's headspace will be very different. It'll be a lot more challenging game. Whereas Storm's got a nicer game against Nighthawks to get into it.
Tell you what, you'd love to see what would happen the Derby Nighthawks game if they were going in with 2 losses from earlier on.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? Because they're playing the same teams during the day. They're both playing Nighthawks. They're both playing Spartans, and they play each other.
But Nighthawks would probably be thinking beforehand, looking at that. Oh, we're probably walking away with 3 losses there.
Yeah.
Like they've got nothing to lose, right? They're in 9th place. Like they've only picked up 1 win this season. Like they just go in. If we get a result, great. If we don't, we just move on to the next game and give it everything.
But I don't think there's any pressure on Storm in that Nighthawks game, right? Like even if they lose to Nighthawks, they're still in a good place in the league table. Like it's only if they really want to push for 3rd, in which case the game against Derby is far more important. So like I imagine being in that headspace against Nighthawks is probably a better place to be than Derby, who are like, well, we've got to beat Spartans and then we got to beat Storm.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the Derby Nighthawks game could be interesting if Derby go in with 2 losses.
Oh right, okay, right, yeah, it could be. I don't know.
Like I said, like Norwich just like no matter what their results from earlier on in the day are, right? Like they're gonna go in and just be like, right, we're just here to try and fuck up people's league season now.
Yeah.
So that could be a bit of a spicy game under certain circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, I think Meteor's priority will be trying not to get injured.
Just steamroll.
Go for a light jog.
Yeah, I don't see anybody. Again, you never know with sheriffs. Like you could, like they're just against some of the bigger teams. They've given them difficult games. Still lost, but given them difficult
Nah,
games.
because I
And
mean,
with a bit,
Brett's back now, isn't he? And
I've
he,
no idea.
yeah, he was back last league meet, I believe, and I think he made quite a significant difference to the consistency of Meteors. Not that Meteors were playing bad before, but I think they were just, I
Oh
don't
no,
know,
he controls
he
the
could,
game
yeah,
incredibly well.
yeah,
Incredibly well.
um, like, for fair credit to Meteors, they've been a fun team to watch this year. I'm not gonna lie. Very much enjoyed watching
Oh
them.
my god, Nick's enjoying Super League.
I know it's crazy. It's only because the league's so close now, and maybe a prediction that I said might come true. So I'm kind of invested in it. Storm, don't bottle it. I want to go back and find out what we said as our prediction for top three because I cannot remember it.
We can sort out a video of
Yeah,
reacting
I think
to our predictions at the
Spartans.
start of the season.
Yeah, Spartans. I think Spartans were all our favourites to win, but looks like that's not going to happen. So still could, but we'll have to see what happens. Yeah. Oh my God, we've actually got predictions to do, haven't we?
I thought you were about to say that the recording fucked up.
I hope not. I hope not. If we're
my heart whenever you're like, oh my god.
it's it says we're 40 minutes into it, so I hope we're 40 minutes into it. Like I don't know. Like whoa.
Stop it. No, I can't handle this today. I'm fragile enough as it is. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, off the
match
back
to
of
catch.
our discussions and what happened in the opening match for these teams in Meet 1, we are now halfway through the season, so we just play the same fixtures again. Yeah, crazy. We don't have any of that weird thing where we have halfway through the season being halfway through a league meet. Spartans versus Derby. Draw last time. What are we thinking this time? It's going to be an afternoon slot, so no morning fatigue. What are we thinking? I'll let you go first, Colm.
Gonna let me go first. I can't see anything other than a Spartans win. I'll be honest. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be very tight, and momentum from the early stages will be very important for both teams.
Yeah.
But I'd be very shocked if assuming this is a Spartans full strength team. I have no idea about their injuries and stuff. But assuming it's a full team, I reckon Spartans come away with a victory.
Yeah. It's difficult to argue with that, to be honest. And mainly because I just want it to be an interesting run into the end of the season.
You're begging Derby to give them a game just so that you can watch a good running.
No. I want Spartans to win this because if Spartans win this, then and carry on.
Oh, you want
form.
the first and second to go?
Yeah, first and second.
Okay.
That means that I think the last penultimate game of the season for Super League will be Meteors versus Spartans because I think they were the penultimate match.
Oh, because it's going to be the same. Yeah. So I actually think that might have been the last game, last meet.
Worth checking.
But yeah, I get your point.
Because that could really set it up.
Yeah,
so
that was the last game.
Last game of the season could be a nice Spartans versus Meteors playoff for first and second. So Spartans, go do it. I hope it goes well. And yeah, we'll see. I'll just get the Instagram results up because
we're
very organised, clearly.
So organised.
The most organised, some would say. We currently have... Oh, Jesus Christ.
This is 50-50. I'm just going to leave the pod.
I mean, it's not even close to 50-50. Trying to remember the right one. There we go. That one, that one, that one, that one. Yep, it's a Spartans prediction.
Spartans.
We've had 122 votes in like the last 6 hours, whatever it was, since it's been up. 81% in favor of Spartans. I was not expecting that. I thought it'd be closer.
I assumed the Derby revolution would have come through. They might not have seen it yet.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's even, not to name names, but there are some Derby people here who've voted Spartans as well. So
oh, scandalous!
Multiple,
I'm here for
multiple people. Anyway, that I guess Spartans.
I'll be checking that out later.
Yep.
Who wants to buy my silence? Blackmail.
But yeah, Zoe and Bevers are unable to get their predictions in, mainly because I told Bevers about 2 hours before this podcast went live. I started recording.
Oh, yeah, it would not shock me if he just fully ignored that one and got on with his life.
Yeah. To be honest, Bevers, I hope you did. Like, but yeah, those are the predictions. Where the hell? There you go.
That's your match to catch, folks.
Four-man Super League.
Four-man Super League. Oh, we're actually... You think we've been doing this for 2 years, wouldn't you? You definitely think that we're really experienced at this.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's so smooth. So smooth. There's nothing to suggest.
No, seriousness, how many episodes have we recorded now?
We're over 20. I think we're near 25.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. That's crept up, hasn't it? And it feels like we have only done 2 episodes this season. 2 episodes. I mean, we did split like both of them up into 3, but yeah. Anyway, Men's League One. Let's go.
There we go.
What a round this was. To be fair, there's some good matches in this one. I'll tell you that. Chaos all around.
I think you just enjoyed it because Leeds got 3 wins.
I mean, we got 3 wins. We did what we needed to do, but like, given how shit our last round was, I genuinely thought any chance of us being in near the top had kind of not disappeared. But like, you lose 3 matches, and I'm like, okay, right, that's promotion.
To be fair, it's fucking tight from second to like 6th or something like that. Like,
we'll get to the table in a sec. But
how did we
get
the reason
there,
why
Colm?
I'm saying that, there's a few chaotic matches. If you want to start off with the match to catch, in terms of the Ronda Beagles game, which actually I took a bit of time to give that a watch, and weirdly, it was one of the most like bog standard games of dodgeball I think I've ever watched, which I really wasn't expecting. Like, Ronda really went in with the game plan of single ball back and forth the entire game. Tried not to let Arnie dictate the game as much as other teams would. Arnie's pre-throws in that game were fucking immense. And he definitely carried Beagles in a lot of these set victories. And if memory serves, a good few of the sets that Ronda won were getting Arnie out fairly early, trying to do a big counter on him as he was being passed the ball.
It's a tactic I'll never understand.
It works a lot of the time.
I mean, it does. But I don't understand how. I don't understand how it works. I think it's because they do it so early on that by the time you're doing a running counter on them,
as he's throwing.
Yeah,
it's basically as he's throwing, the ball's being passed to him.
So you have to do it as like a post throw. But like, the people who are handing the balls off, like, because they're almost standing still, not really backtracking at that point, They can catch.
You're almost looking to post throw the middle player
Yeah,
for
like
like passing the ball off, but
but
they'd be
then
happy. They're
but
happy with that.
they're moving laterally as well, so you can't really post throw like unless you know who they're going to pass it off to in advance. Okay, well, okay, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be Arnie, sure,
is that
fine.
is that not what this
But
discussion
I
is?
mean, Arnie does like they do distribute who
They'd
their
much rather
throws
take the
are.
three balls and you bin off their middle player than
Yeah,
bin
yeah, yeah,
bin off
100%.
Arnie.
But
Like
they rotate their throwers quite regularly. Like they don't just rely on Arnie
more
throwing
this
in their group
season than
throws.
last season.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
Or well, whenever Arnie was about last season.
Yeah.
But you still, I just don't get it, right? I've watched a fair whack of the Beagles games, between this year and last year, whenever Arnie's about, right? And he just does the same shit repeat of cross court single, pass Arnie the ball, he survives it, and they keep doing that in the three ball attacks. And then there's a bit of variation in their two ball attacks of Arnie's absolutely deadly pre throw, and everybody is shit scared to go at him whenever he's done it. Like
Yeah.
shit scared because he's insane catcher, from like being post thrown.
Yeah, I mean they play a very punish heavy game as well. If you
Yeah.
release a
100%.
ball,
Yeah.
you better be turning to expect that ball, and it'll be the nearest person to you that will be releasing the
Yeah.
ball. It's very Euros style dodgeball. Like they'll just if you've released a ball, set yourself to be thrown at to catch, because if you can, you know it's coming at you at about thigh height, because that's where they're going all the time.
Yeah, so even if you try to get into that squat position, it'll clip this top of your knees.
Yeah, exactly. So just get into position or
No, they're a very disciplined squad, and they
Yeah.
execute their game plan extremely well, and that's why they're top of the table.
Oh,
Won
100%.
every game,
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
think.
sure. Pretty sure they're
And
undefeated.
you can't knock. You can't. I know I'm knocking it, but you can't knock the efficiency and how they get there. But I'm shocked nobody in League One has been able to effectively work that out into
Yeah.
a game plan. Like, and this is gonna bite me in the ass as I'm playing him next, mate. But it shocks me. I feel like I've watched so many teams where I feel like they're scared to do what's needed to be done. Like whenever we gave them a game last season, we were like 5 or 6 sets down at halftime, and we pulled it back to lose by 1. That if we had an extra minute or two, we would have won that game, or at least drawn it. And all we did was Sam Wrench, as soon as Arnie threw, binned him off of the post throw. Wasn't scared of getting caught. Like he went for it really heavy early in the set. That if Arnie takes the catch, it's 6-5, right? And that worked pretty much every set. That we won in the second half was because we just binned him off early and then just played a regular game after that. Like that was our main focus in the start of the sets. But everybody seems to be scared to take that risk to bin him off, especially early in the sets. I think you just need to take an opportunity, similar to like look at a Spartans 2, right? A Spartans 2 would go, right, Arnie's the main priority. Who's going to be that person that is willing to potentially sacrifice themselves early in the set to bin off the main player that controls the game? And he controls the game as well as anybody in dodgeball can do. Like he really dictates how his entire team plays, and to an extent how the opposition is able to play against them. Like he's so good on the defensive side of the game, i.e. the 2 and 1 ball attacks. Like he survives so well. And you've seen it like at Euros how well he can do it as well. Like he was taking catches left, right, and center, even a double catch. Like he's very difficult to play against. But if you fear him, you've already lost. And I watched some of the teams that they've played against this season, and I do feel like people are scared to go for them, especially early in the sets.
I agree and disagree. Like I think from the matches I've seen, I feel like some people hyperfixate on him, and I think people
That's what I mean.
yeah, like like forget that dodgeball is a game of having more people in after 3 minutes than the other team, right? There are 5 other targets on that team, and the way that team's set up is pretty much of those 5 other teams, other players, they can take catches. If you
Mm.
manage to focus on Arnie for the first minute and a half, don't lose too many players, and then get him out, and you throw away a dumbass catch at the end of the set, you got Arnie back in, and he will, in those 30 seconds, do enough to bring it level. If you can make it sure that he has no support, he has no supporting cast, then a bit like the England v Austria in the women's, like you can't do too much if you are 5 players down.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I just think it's willing, from my point of view. I think you should be willing to take the risk early in the sets, and then if he's still in after they've lost one or two, and you might have lost one or two, then you go into your side of the game of bin off the support alongside of him,
yeah
and then wait for maybe a fourth ball, maybe for him to have to force through an attack or something like that. Like there's
if the shot's
there's
there,
both sides
take
of
it,
it.
but don't
Yeah,
waste.
exactly.
Don't waste time. But
After,
then like after
a phase, after like a certain phase of the set, yeah, I would very
yeah,
much agree with that.
but like you're almost getting to a point there where just play them as a 6 then, because like if
After, as I said, like early in the set,
yeah
that should be where you take those kind of risks. Because like if he takes a catch at 6-all, right?
yeah it's 6-5
There's no impact
like
whatsoever, realistically.
until they've got a player out or player down or whatever, or you're a player down, don't like no, you have the opportunity to take the risk, because a hit and a catch is the same thing as 6-all. But
Yes.
at the same time, like if you kind of focus on it like that, and you're also then saying, right, I'm going to pick off the other 5 anyway, you've got 10 sets in a match minimum that you're going to have to distribute tactics on. Like some part of it is going to be just like take them on as 6 players and just be a better 6 players as a team against them, and play as a team, as a unit against them, and you should be able to pick them off. If you get too distracted by, oh my god, we've just given away a catch and Arnie's back in, and stuff like that, you kind of overthink it, and you're not just playing the game of just get the players out. And it's easier said than done, don't get me wrong, but like it does, I do see it on a court enough where I feel like people just overthink it and go, oh, this player's really good, or this player's catching everything, so let's avoid him, whatever. And it's just a simple game of
it's whenever
take
you
the
start
shots
seeing,
on when they're there.
Yeah, it's whenever you start seeing like the single balls just being thrown at Arnie, like,
yeah,
and you're just like, that's not how you take him out.
Yeah,
like,
or even like
if you're just looking to waste, fair enough, because he doesn't really go for the catch whenever he's got a ball in his hand that often.
Because I think I think that happened in the Ronda game against Spiegels, if I'm not mistaken, where like one of the later sets, Ronda had like 4 balls, and they decided to do a 3-ball throw on Arnie. If anyone's going to dodge 3 balls, it's Arnie. He's
going to take a catch.
Yeah.
Situation
like,
as well.
Like he's so good at dodging, and it does seem like, all right, we've got the majority. Like we've got so many balls right now. Let's just like batter him with them. Like we shouldn't be able to get hit. But if anyone can do a dodge and a block, like, or a catch on in that scenario, it's gonna be him. Batter another player, like, because Arnie is that good.
Yeah. He's definitely like, you want to go for him whenever he's not got the ball. Like that's the time to get him, and that's why they feed him the ball, and that's why they have that tactic, is because he's incredibly good at surviving it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree with you that when the opportunities are there, just bin them off. Like it's, I can't generally, because it baffles me. I can't explain why people, like I said, you start throwing balls at a guy that's able to survive. Like his blocking is probably one of the best, and definitely the best in League One. Like nobody else can survive with the ball in their hand as well as he can. And nobody else can turn around a set in his own as often as he can.
Yeah.
For the time being, but
I think the reason is if you look at the team. So we'll go on to another match now, like Ronda versus Wessex. Both two new teams to the league. Um, and playing against Beagles is a different type of game than playing against teams in Super League as a result.
Yeah.
And, we'll have conversations later on in the season of how we think Beagles will do in Super League, because I know that they are going for that promotion. Like, they've
not too far off being secured.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They've got enough international players on that team now that they want to be in Super League, so makes sense. But you got Ronda versus Wessex. Wessex, a team that got absolutely binned off against MK earlier on, who have not had much of a team change since the last league meet, but just seem to have put it together this league meet. Like, put it together a lot better. And then they're coming back and then drawing against Ronda, who have been playing very well. It's a bit of an odd one, really. Like that, and I think that's the situation in the league, is that all the other teams have their glaring weaknesses at times, and their failings and faults. Like, we had a league meet where we just got in our heads. We had everything go against us that could have nothing, like on the refs. It was just like genuinely 50-50 calls could go either way, or stupid ass rebound catches that people were catching on their feet while doing tombstones. Like, you can't fight that. Shit happens. And that ruined us for an entire day. That's 3 matches down the drain. Whereas other people, like Ronda, have this game against Wessex, where Wessex were just bigger arms, a bit slower around the court, but bigger arms, and just walloping Ronda. Whereas Ronda are just absolutely rapid. If they get the quick start, Wessex aren't able to do anything. And I think that's where the league's at, and that's where all the other teams are at, and that's why I think Beagles are able to just not have to stress about it so much.
Fair. Yeah, they can make a lot of valid points, to be honest.
But the other games, I mean, that's Ronda and Wessex, kind of like highlighted and summarised. MK getting a big day for MK. We'll get onto the table in a second, but like this is a massive day of results for MK. So getting a very comfortable win over Wessex, getting a draw, getting a big win over Bees, and then a big win over Rangers 2, brings them within fighting distance of promotion. Whereas before, like, genuinely, I thought they were in relegation battle for the rest of the season. Yeah, they've gone from 8th to I think 6th, I believe.
Yeah, it's a really painful one for the relegation contenders, because obviously you've not just got the bottom 2 that need to be worried. You've then got the 2 above that need to be worried. 3 wins in one day is fucking huge.
Yeah, absolutely massive.
Because there's now a group of 5 teams that are kind of battling to not only be in promotion contenders, but are battling to be out of the
relegation battle,
playoff relegation zone.
There's 2 wins. There's 2 wins.
It's a very weird dynamic, this league now.
Yeah, there's 2 wins separating 2nd and 7th, isn't there? I think.
Something like that.
Seventh is on 8 points. Yeah, 7th is on 8 points, and 2nd is on 12 points. There's 2 wins. So if things don't go right this, next league, then 2nd go into 7th, and 7th can get up. But yeah, I mean,
also like it's gonna be like every game for like the team from basically outside of the Beagles, to like games. Every other game has massive impacts on everybody.
Yeah.
Because like, as we've discussed before, like 4 teams at the bottom are going to be in some relegation battle, whether it's the playoffs, whether it's actual relegation. And there's been tight matches between, Cov, Bedford Rangers, Worker Bees against the rest of that kind of pack going on.
Yeah.
That even the bottom 3 teams who are outside of that like 5-team pack could still be battling for just pure survival rather than going into the playoff relegation battle.
Yep. Yeah.
Like it is a bit insane. And seeing some of the results from today, like take Nottingham Sheriffs 2 against Bedford Rangers. Nottingham Sheriffs 2 are 6 points ahead of them. Now,
straight by them.
And it was only one set.
12-10.
Like Rangers win that, and it opens up even more for Worker Bees and Cov to get back into that like survival um, position. So yeah, this next league meet's gonna have a major impact on how things pan out for a lot of teams, because then you're really starting to see who's going to be going into the relegation battle and who's going to be going into the playoff relegation battle. Never mind who's fucking going for promotion right now, because it
Yeah,
is
yeah. Other
you,
than other
you
than
you're
Bedford.
no better than, yeah, other than Bedford. Bedford have taken the league pretty much. Like they're not getting caught.
No.
Like 6 points ahead at the halfway point.
Yep.
Like that's
Yeah,
that's far
like
too.
it's wild because I remember having the conversation when we were there. We were like, so we were happy. We were like, yeah, great. We got 3 wins. We were in 5th place now, and we're just like, okay, fine. Got 3 wins. That's probably going to maybe jump us up one position, whatever. Like, got to focus on the rest of the season. Anything else will happen. And then like getting messages from other people from other teams in the car saying, we think you're second, and it's like, wait, what? Like, how did that happen? We lost 3, and it's wild to us because like we've had 2 good days and 1 bad day, and when we say bad day, it was awful. Like we lost all the
Yeah,
games, whereas like today, like for this one, Ronda got a draw, and they got 2 wins, and they got 2 losses. Sorry, they're still taking points. They're still taking points.
yeah,
So like for us, like why would we think that we're in it? And that just shows how wild this league is. Like I know some of the set difference looks a bit interesting because I know. So like for example, I'll talk about our games and then I want to talk about that Bees COV game because my God, one player was on form. Um, Silverbacks against Leeds, like Silverbacks took a 6-0 lead. I think we brought it back to 6-all at half time. Um, but that was a tight game all the way through. Storm 2 was then completely the opposite. We got to 14-4 and then sort of slowed down a bit because we knew we still had Sheriffs. But Storm are like, that's kind of how good a team they are, is that we were playing like full blast. We need to win this. We need to win this. We need to win this. We got to 14 and it was a case of like, no, we still need to win it. We're not doing anything stupid. Like the tactics didn't particularly change. I just think some of the intensity dropped off a bit. And as soon as that intensity dropped off, that's 3 sets in a row just gone. And like, man, that is scary for like any other set or any other match. And then the Sheriff's 2 game again, like until it came down to the like penultimate set where we got an extra set up and meant that we could win. That was close all the way through. So I like, yeah, this league. I mean, we'll go onto the table in a second, but going on to that Bees game. Oh my God, Brennan, Jesus Christ! I'm surprised there isn't a dodgeball highlights reel just of every single catch he made in one set. In one
yeah,
set, like
yeah.
they've got the catch of him that he made where he was like mid court diving down and then like up in the air.
Goalkeeper save.
Like I saw that in person. I would like it was one of those where you stand up like whoa, like what the hell just happened? It
Nasty.
was absolutely insane. But like on top of that, he was just taking catches in the neutral zone that were like perfect, like almost perfectly timed post throws, like insane jumping catches at the back of court. Like the dude was on fire. I mean, his throwing was great as well and all his dodging and stuff. But my God, the volume of catches he was making, the quality of them was just wow. Like
Yeah,
I
it was
just
mad. No, it was. It was really, really good.
go watch it back. Fucking cracking game. Like
I
just
have
for that.
several times. No, it was. We really needed that. We really needed that. Like the big thing that's hampered worker bees this season is we've had, between the first and second team, we've had 5, maybe 6 injuries. Well, sorry, 5 injuries and then one person that was transferred out for a bit, i.e. Brennan,
Yeah.
who's just come back. And we're starting to see some of the injuries returning to training, and it's had a major impact on morale, just getting everybody back and having a bigger squad available, and it's making stuff like league selection a lot tougher. Um, and we just needed I wanted us to get at least 2 points out of this just to keep us in the battle for survival, because in terms of ability as a squad, we should definitely be at least mid-table in this league. Like whenever we have a full fit squad, like the issue is that we had to bring so many new people into it that it took a long time to embed that many new players. Because I think for Mate 1, we had something like 5 debuts. For the worker bees anyway. A few of them came up from soldiers, a few of them were new into the club. And similar to what we were talking about with killer bees earlier on, it's been slowly having that unified team coming together. And it was really nice to see them get their rewards last meet, and we're hoping to keep pushing on from there. And yeah, fight for that 6th place spot for survival, which is fucking crazy to have to say in a 10 team league.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
I mean, Super League is so interesting this year with the fact that they've got so many teams that could claim that 3rd spot, and it is genuinely very tight in the league. But this is taking the fucking piss. Like, like as soon as someone said, "Oh yeah, you're in 2nd, you're on 6 wins, 12," and then I was like, okay, how close is it like to below, etc. And then saw it out, and I was like, 7th place on 8 points, like one day, less than a day's worth of matches, and you can be in that relegation fight. Absolutely wild. And on top of that, other than Storm just doing Storm shit, all those teams are on positive set difference.
Yeah.
Like, that's just wild. Like,
But
what a league.
That last league made show you that anybody can beat anybody and can get results. Like, you don't have to have the best, especially in this league. It's not necessarily about ability. It's just about playing really smart dodgeball. And if you make a lot of the right decisions, you'll win the games.
Yeah.
Like, it's about playing very smart, and there's a lot of, like, whether if we're bottom place, I don't fear playing any of those teams, like anybody in this league. I feel like as a squad we have the ability and unity to take points against anybody, and I think that needs to be the attitude that pretty much everybody in this league needs to have going into matches right now, because as we said, like, everything from promotion to relegation is on the line.
You can't take
for
anything for granted.
pretty much every team except for Beagles.
Yep, yeah. I mean, for our audio listeners, the state of the table at the moment is Bedford Mighty Eagles in 1st place, undefeated, 9 wins, 18 points. Leeds Owls 2nd, 6 wins, 3 losses, 12 points. Wessex Wolves 3rd, 5 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses on 11. They're tied with Ronda and London Storm on 11 points. Ronda with 4 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses, and Storm also on 5 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses. So set difference being the key factor there. And it's quite a significant set difference between the 3 of them. So Storm 2 on -2 points, whereas Wessex are on 30 and Ronda pretty much plumb in the middle on 18. MK coming back up the table on 10 points in 6th, so only just behind by 1 point that 3rd, 4th, 5th contingency. 4 wins, 2 draws and 3 losses. And then Sheriffs 2, rounding out that pack of 5 that we've been talking about, on 3 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses on 8 points. So yeah, two wins behind 2nd place. And in the current, well, obviously Sheriffs are still in the relegation battle, but in the other relegation spot that would go into the playoffs is Silverbacks 2, with 2 wins and 7 losses, with 4 points. And then rounding out the table in the relegation zone, or the definite relegation zone, is Rangers 2 and Worker Bees. Rangers 2 on a win and a draw, and Worker Bees on a single win with 3 and 2 points. So yeah, quite a table. And with 3 matches a league meet, it's going to be interesting. So this league meet, Bedford Mighty Eagles, Leeds and Ronda all have the same matches, which is what led to those 3 tied at the top after the first league meet before. But yeah, then the rest, it goes into chaos. Shall we go on to the fixtures?
Let's go.
All right, let's see if I've actually got the times right. No, that's the wrong league. I don't know why OBS does this to me. Here we go. Morning session. Anything that jumps off the fixture list to you to begin with?
Me and you aren't friends at 11 o'clock.
No, we're not friends at 11 o'clock. Both of us making a debut to me Men's League One this season.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
at the same time. So
Ooh, cute.
yeah, that'd be nice. Can't wait to see you on court. Can't
wait to see you in that box.
It's oh my god! It was when I was playing Kath last league meet and like did a running counter on her and then like swung a little too hard and then like had to like hop to try and keep my balance and then legit fell off court and she just looks at me and just I'd already hit her but she was just like pointing at me laughing and I was like, okay, I mean fair enough, high fives. Off the outbox we go.
Mind games. Right, I'll ask Kath for tips on how to get you into the outbox again.
Yeah, just drag me with you. Oh yeah, that was good fun. That was good fun. Reminds me of Mud's times. But yeah, I mean, first matches of the day. Both courts are going to be hella interesting. Storm 2 against Wessex. I would have put that as my match to catch. Going to be very interesting game. See how that one goes. I know Wessex from memory handled that one, I believe. And they were quite a strong team, and Storm 2 kind of collapsed. But it was the first game of the season, and I think it was just a case of like gelling as a team. I think they're a much more solidified unit now. And I think with some of those players playing internationally as well for Storm 2, they've had extra training time together just to get a bit more chemistry in than other teams necessarily have. So I think Storm 2 would be in a good position for that game. Don't quote me on it, because Wessex played hella good last time in the last league meet, so who knows what could happen, but if I was to put money on it, I'd go Storm 2.
As the unofficial, prediction, I'll go Wessex Wolves for shits and giggles. I'll pick your favourite club.
My favourite club. Okay, yeah. And then on the other court...
that'll never die.
Never die. But Silverbacks 2 against Sheriffs 2 in that relegation fight, every point matters. So both teams are going to be clawing for wins there. If Sheriffs 2 lose that game... Go on.
I was about to kind of say something similar, where I actually don't know who I'd want to win this game in terms of favouring worker base. Probably Cov to make it a bit more catchable, but then you're making 7th place like less catchable. Like, it's fucking, I don't know. It's such a weird league.
6th place becomes less catchable, because like if
Sheriffs win, they do, yeah.
Yeah, so if Sheriffs win,
you're probably looking Cov.
Yeah, if Sheriffs win, then that keeps that pack of 5 very much a pack of 5. If Sheriffs don't win and they start losing some matches here, then they're going to lose sight of that group that are fighting for that 2nd place, and they're going to be stuck in that. They're definitely going to be rammed into that 7th position.
Yeah. God, it's such a mad league. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at every tight game, and I could be looking for, I know it's not one of the games, I don't think, but I could be looking for Wessex to beat Sheriffs 2, but if they beat Cov, then I'll be wanting Sheriffs to beat Wessex to make it comfortable to them.
Wessex are playing Sheriffs
crazy.
2. Wessex are playing Sheriffs. Yeah, 11:45 in quarter 3.
I couldn't see the other Sheriffs game. Like,
and they're also playing
in the morning. I could be wanting Sheriffs to lose to Cov, but then by the time it gets to 11:45, I'll be like, fuck, maybe I should have been cheering on Sheriffs 2 at the time.
Yeah, like it's a bit weird. Like,
crazy.
I'd want Silverbacks to beat Sheriffs 2, but then I want Sheriffs 2 to beat Wessex, and then like when it gets to Cov versus Wessex, like. Well, then what do I do? Like,
you're in a similar position for Sheriffs 2 versus London Storm. Like that middle 5 pack. Like, I just need somebody to have one of the worst days of their dodgeball career, basically.
Like, if Storm 2 have a bad day against Wessex and Sheriffs 2, then that really throws a spanner in the works for them.
That's it. It is a bit of a nuts situation.
MK, like, after all the hard work they've done as well, what a day they have. Ronda, Beagles, and Leeds, like.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough day for them. It's
It
to be honest,
depends. It genuinely depends how they play. Like if they played some of the games that they did last league meet, then they could be coming away with 2 wins. Touch wood, it doesn't happen. But like,
I'd say the style of play I've seen MK play, I would be surprised if Ronda doesn't scrape that by a couple of sets. I don't see them giving Beagles that much of a game, and I think you guys have been improving as each meet goes by. I think you'll take good momentum going into this meet. Um, I could see you binning them off. Say binning them off like a couple
they're
of
a good
sets,
team.
like, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not. Don't get me wrong. This isn't me. This isn't me like this in MK.
Oh no,
But
100% not. It's just it's a hard meet for them. Like it genuinely is.
that's a very difficult meet.
Um,
But to be fair, what is an easy meet like these days? And
yeah,
like Beagles, this meet is probably the closest you get to an easy meet realistically.
well, like I said,
And even then,
Beagles, Ronda, and Leeds have the same games.
yeah,
So
but I guess that's the closest you're gonna get to an easy meet at this moment in
yeah,
time. And
yeah,
even
I
then,
suppose so.
like I know B's have a couple of players returning, so like hopefully that swings things in our favor a bit more. Um, Rangers too, like they had some really tight games against the middle of the pack. Like they're not exactly a foregone conclusion. Like it is such a tight league right now. Like it will understand how things will pan out a lot more after this meet because uh, as you would, I'm not exactly saying anything revolutionary there,
No,
but it'd be very interesting to see how the league table looks after this meet.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I did just want to give a shout out to Rangers, who are possibly one of the worst scheduling I've ever seen, playing us at 12:30, then refing, then playing. Um,
No way, that's a thing, is it?
yeah, I checked the referee schedule. I saw it as I was doing it. I was like, what? Um,
That's a piss take.
big rippers.
Does every team have to do that? Well, yeah, I can see
They
Wessex.
have to
Oh no, well there's his.
they have to ref twice. Like so, everyone goes through a rota of refing twice within the 3 league meets, I think. But I think to have your 2 refings one after another is a fucking joke.
Oh, I knew that. Sorry, I knew that, but I meant like the doing it one after the other. I didn't
Yeah,
think
one
that
after
was
the
a
other,
thing.
absolute joke. Yeah,
That's that is a piss take. Like, oh
yeah.
no.
So Soz
But
Rangers too.
anyway,
But enjoy that one. Yeah. I mean, yeah, picking a match to catch, pick any, to be honest. All of them are going to be mega important. You're going to see teams running for trying to get set difference up, but in doing that, everyone wants a draw. So it's everyone's going to be focusing on trying to get their wins first. But yeah, let's go on to predictions then, shall we? And the match to catch is
who?
MK v Ronda.
Wait.
Rontha. I don't know. I can't speak Welsh. But yeah. Shall we? You know what? Shall we treat ourselves and see what the public say first? Shall we go find that out?
Go on then. Why not?
Why not? Okay. So it is a convincing vote one way. 72% to 28. We've had 104 voters. So a good proportion going to this team. And that is, if you can find it. Oh no. Oh well. It's Ronda.
Oh no.
Ronda.
Ronda.
Yep.
I'm surprised it was that much.
I think people were expecting MK to not be as good just because of some of their results, but they are well in the thick of it now, and they had a pretty good result last time. So, it'd be an interesting one to see who can do it, who can get the win, and what team they turn up with. I'll go next then. I am in. I think it's going to be a difficult one because it does depend whether MK can carry on this momentum. Um,
That's what we're predicting.
really? Okay, shit. Actually, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Um,
We've said
I'm
that
gonna
about
predict.
each other for a long time, sir.
Yeah, I am gonna predict. I'm. You know what? You know, I may be a bit silly for doing this, but I do think let's go with MK because reason being, here's my logic behind it: is they had a good round last time. They had some good momentum. Ronda, on the other hand, did not. They had a pretty rough league meet. For them, they came away with a draw and 2 losses in games that they probably should have won.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think if momentum is a thing between league meets, I think MK have that and they can ride high on it, and potentially take that into this game. But we'll see. How about yourself?
You know, it all depends on momentum.
Well, that's what we're predicting.
Um, um, I, s- I don't know. Not being able to see the only MK match I watched was against Bees, and I wasn't overly impressed with how MK played. Like I very much like watched it and was thinking that there was a lot of sets that we should have seen out and won. And I don't see Ronda giving away as many positions as Bees did in the last meet. So I probably, for that reason, would go with Ronda, as I feel like they're much better at going ahead in sets and seeing it out. There's nobody in MK that I look at and go, they're going to be a big threat to a fast-paced, good throwing and decent catching squad that Ronda have. Now, the only thing that I think has been going against Ronda, I think could bite them in the ass in this meet, is some of their lineups have been a bit strange about who they've put in the wing and who they've moved into the middle. They've been trying to move like the likes of Scott and James Noller more into the middle. I think that's a very weird decision,
I mean, it
considering
works
where
for
their
quick
strengths lie.
starts. It works for quick starts.
Quick, their quick starts are fucking insane, absolutely insane. But after that, they're not utilizing them as much as they should be. Which
In
is
fact,
my opinion.
Scotland,
But
go watch Ronda and see how they do quick starts. You might want to use that in Worlds.
oh, brilliant!
Aldrid's going to come at me now. Like what are you talking about? We'll get onto that into another episode.
But yeah, I see Ronda taking this.
Yeah, fair. Cool. It'd be interesting to see how that one actually pans out for the league, the league implications on it. Because, I mean, yeah, if MK are trying to get back into it, they really need to make sure that they get a win here. Anyway, that rounds it out for this one. Unfortunately, we've only got 2 leagues to talk about. So that's the end of our, I'm going to say first, could be a second, could be third, depending on which order you're listening to. But I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like, subscribe, a follow, a cheeky comment. Let us know what's going on, what you'd like to hear more from us about. Hopefully, yeah, well, I mean, we're still going to chat shit regardless, aren't we? But hopefully, life will sort itself out for all of us later this year. So hopefully, we'll be able to bring more content. But we'll try and keep getting the St George's Park rounds out and giving content where we can. So yeah, see you in the next one.
Bye.